Two conversations I want to include Nick Wright on, just based on the craziness of what just happened. Nick, have you ever hated anyone inside or outside of sports and you simply cannot explain and don't have any introspective way to access why you hate that person? Because Keith Yandel just said that he hated Vijay Singh, and I don't know that I've ever been more shocked in my life.
I'm not even certain Yandel knows why he hates
doesn't.
Vijay
That's
Singh.
the point I'm
Right.
making.
Yeah.
You should be certain he doesn't know.
No.
He doesn't know.
No, my any sports hate I've had is a long time coming. Like Stugotz will like this, and people, may or may not know this about me, but as a young child, I was a Knicks fan because I was from Kansas City. We didn't have a team. My mom was from New York, and when I was a little kid, I went to a Knicks game at Madison Square Garden. So as a little kid, I was kind of an adopted Knicks fan. So I hated P.J. Brown, but that was because he picked up Charlie Ward, body slammed him.
Yes, of course.
He had reasons, yes.
Right. And so I
Perfectly
hated him.
reasonable. Totally reasonable.
I somewhat irrationally, but again, because of the Knicks fandom, really didn't like Reggie Miller.
Again,
and then that was only further validated by the fact that he's talked about as an all-time great despite being 18-3-3, a couple third-team All-NBAs, and look at those playoff numbers. They're not exactly what the NBA on NBC will have you believe.
He's playing the game.
Nick, I want to help you, Nick, because I like you. Okay, what we're playing.
I don't know this stuff.
What we're playing is say what Dan wants you to say, not what you think.
Well, but I don't have that. I don't have I just don't like the cut of your jib. No, like I'm a rational
That's who Dan's
actor.
looking for, though.
Okay, yes.
Well, so then, all right. Well, then let's start over. Ask me, and I'll tell you.
No, I'll include you on the other conversation, which I am certain, by the way, I don't have to tell him what to tell me here. I am certain he will be on this great subject. It's great on this subject without any warning. We just had Yandel say that Connor McDavid is the greatest athlete in all of sports right now. Why is he right or why is he wrong?
Well, he's just obvious. I mean, because Patrick Mahomes exists, because if we're talking about guys who are still playing but not in their prime, LeBron exists. I hate to go full Stugotz with Stugotz on the show, but what's Connor McDavid done? Why is Connor McDavid the greatest athlete in all of sports? Listen, it is a rich tapestry, any of these, the qualifiers we give guys, but at some point, accomplishment needs to at least be included in the equation. It can't. That's a first cousin of Justin Herbert's a top 5 quarterback. I don't know. Maybe in practice. At some point, you need to actually add some pelts on the wall. Not that McDavid hasn't, but in comparison to the other actual people in contention for greatest living athlete, greatest active athlete, he certainly hasn't. Come on. That's just foolishness. And I don't even know anything about hockey.
So you're just saying rings at this point, not the fact that Connor McDavid's a Hart Trophy MVP,
it's just
playoff MVP with Conn
it's
Smythe.
This is
Hold on, Roy. No,
cup,
Roy. Tell me if I'm wrong, Roy. Because I know in hockey instead of just being league MVP, they give it some silly name. The Hart Trophy is the season-long MVP, correct?
Correct. Regular season.
How
MVP.
many does he have?
3, I believe.
Okay, so it's not a Gretzky situation where Gretzky won 7 in a row to start his career. So he has 3, which is really good. But there's active athletes right now with as many or more who then also have the further accomplishments. I also assumed Connor McDavid had won at least 1 championship. Am I wrong? Has he not? He's never won it. I assumed he was a 1 or 2 ring guy, and I still thought it was bad.
Is Jokic a better athlete?
Jokic is a better athlete. Can he run faster? No, but yeah, I would say Jokic. If I am ranking current athletes, how could you not have Joker higher? How could you not? Am I wrong?
I just think that the difficulty in how you're presenting the argument is when you say, I don't know anything about hockey, but where are the rings?
I didn't say where are the rings. I said I assumed he had some.
Right.
I guess my point is this. I don't know. There's a lot of things sports-wise that I know, a little bit about. And if somebody is superseding the sport, I then know a lot about them. Like, I know a lot about IndyCar driver Alex Palou. I know a lot about Caitlin Clark. I knew a lot about Katie Ledecky a decade ago. The fact that I know so little about Connor McDavid, to me, is proof in and of itself. He's a legendary hockey player who is he's not yet in the discussion for greatest living athlete. Like, you didn't need to know much. You could be my level of hockey fan in the 80s, and you knew a lot about Wayne Gretzky. And so, again, I didn't think we were going to talk hockey, but we can talk hockey.
Yandel just put him ahead of Shohei Ohtani.
Okay, deal, sold. Because again,
Shohei has a ring.
What are you guys doing? I'm not talking.
How about he pitched?
Shohei Ohtani has to be the best athlete. Has to be.
Why?
Because he can pitch, he can hit and
no, he
pitch.
can't pitch.
Well, then a decathlete.
Okay,
would
so
be the greatest
then I
athlete.
guess by Dan's silly metric, then I guess the silver medalist is already Travis Hunter, right? Because it's just, and I like Travis, but it's just he can do an extra thing other people can't. Like, I don't know about that. I think that isn't there a strong argument, and by the way, Shohei hasn't pitched in a year. There's a very strong argument that Shohei is not the best player in his sport right now. There's an argument it's been Aaron Judge the last year and a half. Go ahead.
Sorry, where would you put Tebow on the list? Because he played baseball and football.
Right.
Neither but he played both.
Stugotz, back to the 90s Knicks.
Yes.
What about this Charlie Ward erasure?
Oh,
Guy
Charlie
won the
Ward.
Heisman. There was a point guard in the NBA Finals. I guess he's better than Joe Montana, who all he could do was play one sport. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like, this is a second cousin, Dan, of the greatest athlete in the world is whatever guy wins the decathlon every 4 years. Oh, he can jump over the water and
10
throw
events.
the
I
javelin.
will say there was at one point that I made Alexander Karelin, the undefeated Russian wrestler, the greatest athlete on the globe.
You did. He did that, Nick.
Because no one could beat him. But when I think of great athletes, when you're talking, like, I can make the argument for Russell Westbrook as physically. But this is part of what we're talking about, though. Being able to pitch and hit at that level would make somebody have a skill set of athleticism that no other athlete has.
But Nick is saying you can't be considered the greatest current playing athlete in the world and not have won anything. And McDavid doesn't want a thing.
Let me defend Keith a little. He's talking skill, the speed of Connor with the hand-eye puck control.
Yeah, but Nick is factoring in winning.
I'm just saying that's what Keith was saying. Most skilled.
So again, it does seem like, and I enjoy this, that we're having 7 different arguments simultaneously. If we are asking, like, who is the greatest raw physical specimen athlete alive, then of our lifetimes, like, peak Russell Westbrook is on the list. Obviously, LeBron is on the list. It just is Travis Hunter because of the cardiovascular stuff. Those guys, sure, I will listen to that argument. I do think that in a team sport, even in a team sport construct, when the goal is winning, that the cost of admission is some level of winning, and then we can all be in the room together. It's why, like, again, I'll bring up, even older sports, but close to Miamians' heart. It's why one cannot make the argument Dan Marino's the greatest quarterback of all time, even if you watched him, you're like, he's the best I've ever seen. Like, I do not think it then goes so far in the other direction, which is, well, obviously Ben Roethlisberger's better than Brett Favre because one's got 2 and one's got 1. I think that's stupid. But I do think that if the goal is winning, you have to demonstrate a certain threshold of winning. I think that's obvious.
Okay.
And again, for all I know, Connor McDavid's won the last 4 Stanley Cups, and you guys are playing a joke on that. But I don't think that happens.
All right, so that devalues your entire argument at the end if you're saying, I don't know anything about hockey.
If anything, it makes it stronger. He thought he was overrated before with the championships, and now he's finding out he has none.
Won a championship.
Yeah, he has 0, Nick. I hate to be the bearer of bad news.
You
were even more right than you thought,
You were
Nick.
the bearer of bad news, and you were the bearer of Tim Tebow information. Thank you for nothing there. Nick Wright,
It's a Wild Billy Wednesday.
I understand. There are no rules. There
he's the best.
There are a number of things that I want to talk to you about, but just on the television right now, we go to immediately OKC, a dynasty. And
Please.
I mean, just
Get to the finals.
Okay, but
couple weeks, that's all we'll have.
They're tonight away from the finals.
Yeah, I know. Listen, they're gonna win. So I said yesterday that I thought they won the championship in Game 4. So I don't think it's too far to talk about them, that they are this year's champion. And that's not trying to disrespect the Pacers or the Knicks if they can come back, but OKC is going to win the championship. The point that I would make, and this is something, it is amazing to me how many people want to just make the same mistake that everyone made year after year. 4 of the last 5 NBA champions, or certainly, let me go 3 of the last 4. We were certain, well, they're about to win a bunch, and none of them have even been to round 3.
It's the last 7. Isn't it the last 7? 7 champions?
Oh, yes, but yes, correct. But my point is, when the Raptors won, we didn't then think they were about to reel off a bunch because Kawhi was going to leave. When the Warriors won in 22, I'm not sure we thought they were about to reel off a bunch. We thought that was kind of the end of what was an unbelievable era. However, when the Bucks won in 21, we were all like, geez Louise, Giannis GOAT conversation? Maybe. How many is he going to win? He hasn't seen round 3. Certainly when the Nuggets won 2 years ago, it was, well, they're the huge favorites. They're going to win again. They were the dominant team all year. They get clipped also in round 2. And the Celtics, this is my problem with the OKC conversation. A lot of the people who you are going to see arguing OKC could start a dynasty 12 days ago were arguing the Celtics were starting their dynasty. They didn't even think they were going to win this championship. Now we're giving them 4 more. The other thing about OKC is, and they are brilliant, and they're going to go 84-19 or 84-20 and have the rightful league MVP, all of that. But it is with that, people are like, man, can you imagine Sam Presti with this young talent, this good, that many assets? Like, yeah, I saw it 13 years ago, and they haven't been back to the finals since, because I don't know that team, that ownership is going to pay the requisite money. And I also think that it always feels like in the NBA, the team that just won is going to keep winning. And the last decade has proven that's not the case. So I do think they're the best team. I do think they're going to be the champions. If people are asking me, I argued with Danny Parkins about this yesterday. If you set Shea's career titles, set the line at 2, the obvious smart bet is the under. And if you set it at 1.5, even after he wins this one, it's a debate what the smart side is.
I wanted to see if you and Nick had any agreement or disagreement on fixing the NBA's rule issues. What happened, Nick?
I have them all fixed, and so the only way we're going to agree is if Amin's got it right as well.
Okay,
I just have it all fixed.
All right, so
I like this.
Let's see
Okay.
whether Amin has any Nick Wright, I don't know. He's had some public issues before with Amin, who's accused him of stealing some things from him. And
Club Superstar, Volume 4. That's the initial thing. Guess when that comes out on First Things First? Today at 4 o'clock. 1 in, 1 out. Club Superstar, the 4th edition is today. It's great to talk to Amin on that day. How are you, sir? But you want to hear my fixes?
No.
Yes.
No, I think Amin needs to give you his fixes and see if they match up with yours.
And I got to set up.
You've already fixed it, Nick.
I've got to set up your feud with Pablo because you feel like you vanquished Amin already here. You stole his thing, made fun of him, and now you're moving on to feud with Pablo.
I didn't steal Amin's thing.
You kind of did.
Two smart people had similar ideas, and they existed in an ecosystem where they were unaware of each other's ideas, and that's all it was. There was no theft done, and the only beef came from the fact that Amin was spreading scurrilous rumors about me that I was an idea thief, that I was, who was that terrible comic that got run out of the industry?
Carlos Mencia.
I'm thinking of the white guy, who was very popular
Dane
briefly.
Cook.
Dane Cook, there we go. Absolutely.
Right.
You think I'd come on this show and insult Carlos Mencia? Give me a break, Dan.
Also
That was the only beef. But Amin, go ahead.
No, we're gonna do this the right way this time. You're gonna go first.
Perfect.
What?
Perfect.
Okay.
I love it. All right. So none of these address load management or the three-point shot, anything. It's just stuff people watching the games hate in them right now. First one is challenges. This is the simplest thing ever. You know how everyone on the court is allowed to do this? And the ref's like, oh, okay, timeout. You're allowed to do it. Guys, guess what? This is binding. You can do it whenever you want, but that's binding. That's your challenge. And if you're out of challenges, then it's a technical foul. And by game 5 of next season, you'll never see it again. You will never see a player hit someone in the arm and then do this silliness. Or two guys, the ball goes out of bounds. Everyone on the court is doing this.
It's a good rule change. Good rule change.
This is binding. It is simple. And you can even be like, hey, has the added benefit. If there's a minute and a half left in a game, you're a brilliant player. You understand the situation. The guys on the assistant coaches on the sideline have dropped the tablet. They can't do it. You're like, oh, man, they're about to inbound the ball. We challenge. But that's binding. This motion is like this motion. It's binding. Amin, tell me why that's not great, because it is.
I like where your head is at. We're identifying that we have a problem with people twirling their fingers.
Yes.
But
the do this is he's just helicoptering his right finger around. I think we all agree with that. He's arrived at a consensus opinion. Yeah, stop doing that. We don't need any of that anymore.
But I don't think he goes far enough.
Wow.
Oh.
I submit to you, get rid of challenges altogether.
Oh, Amin, I agree. I 100% agree.
Who said it first, though?
It's an agree off.
Well, I'm anti-replay in the NFL. I'm anti-replay across the board. The only sport that has it right is tennis, and that's because they just make something up.
Yes.
They're like, hey, the robots told us it's here, and we're all like, okay, cool, we believe you. And we move on.
That's exactly my vision. Is the only thing that get reviewed are those black and white things. Was he inbounds or out of bounds? Was it a 2 or was it a 3? Was he inside the restricted area or not?
Not inside the restricted area or not.
Listen,
don't like that.
I mean it in the sense that when I watch tennis, was it in or out? It's instant. We see that animation of the ball go, oh.
And there's suspense involved.
That's a good sound effect.
I love that about tennis. It's not a whole lot of guys standing under a hood and watching and stuff. We just see the shadow of the ball.
Tennis figured it out.
Whoa. That's what we need in basketball.
I would love to remove all replay. With replay, I would like to get, if we're going to have it, back to, people don't remember this. In the NFL, it used to have, I think it was 45 seconds, and they would, in the stadium, play the Final Jeopardy music, because it was, if they don't have an answer within 45 seconds, call in the field stands, because it's not clear and obvious. We've gotten miles away from that, and I've kind of lost hope that we're going to change that. So that would be better, but I think mine is more doable. All right, rule change 2.
How many are there? How many rules?
3.
All right, 3 of them.
There's
okay,
3.
Sorry.
Rule change 2. Again, I'm going to borrow from football. You know how in football you can decline a penalty?
Yes.
Okay. To get rid of the hacka strategy, if you are fouled outside of the final 2 minutes of the game, which are the quarter, which is the only time the hacka strategy exists, you are allowed to simply say, we appreciate the offer for free throws. We will take the ball sideline out of bounds instead. We decline the free throws.
Another good rule. Another fine rule.
There's a massive flaw in there.
Wow. Tell me.
We can just infinitely foul you.
But here's why that is, again, not realistic or accurate. You can't, though. Because you have a limited number of players. You're not going to be able to do it. You're not going to want to have the entirety of your team in foul trouble. And by the way, if you try to execute that strategy, then after 8 fouls of my possession, when there's 1 second on the shot clock, I will then say, okay, we'll take these free throws. I hope it was worth it to you to do that, but that would end it. And now
another fine rule change.
Now the best one.
Okay.
Ooh, wow.
If a team is leading by 3 or more, and the shot clock is turned off, meaning we're in the final 24 seconds, and they do the foul to prevent a 3 thing. But the way to make that very black and white is the circumstances are you were up 3+, you are in the final 24 seconds, team's in the bonus, and you commit a foul outside of the 3-point line, it is a 3-shot foul. And now the fouling up 3 is gone.
Absolutely not.
What do you mean?
Why not? Tell
Absolutely
me.
not.
Because guys should make their free throws because it's a strategy. This is the NBA is no more valuable than polar bears skating on ice. It's an entertainment product. And anything that we can do to make the game more entertaining that makes sense. There's already plenty of rules about when you can and can't foul. This is worth 1 free throw. This is worth 2. This is worth 3. Tweaking one of them to say this specific situation results in 3 free throws instead of 2, it makes it better for the fans, rewards great plays at the end, and is an easy fix. Why is that bad?
It's bad for a couple of reasons. Number one, this is all coming off the heels of what happened at the end of Game 4 of Wolves versus Thunder. No one, and I mean, it's funny, no one has ever talked about how the Wolves executed poor offense in that situation. You know when you're playing against a team that fouls up 3, that what you have to do is you've got to draw up your plays so that when your guy catches facing the basket and in a position to shoot immediately. The Wolves are throwing up where you're catching on the sideline or throwing it into the backcourt. They ran bad offense. That's why that strategy worked.
I fell asleep hearing
about
about
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for having
attention to yours.
Should have run a better slob inbounds play, and then we could have gotten a
No, you're right.
Ball.
Shooting more free throws is the way.
Have
them shoot 3 free throws.
No, they wouldn't shoot any free throws because teams wouldn't do it.
We would get a natural ending. That's what we would get. That's what
Nick
wants.
How do you differentiate between a real foul and an intentional foul in that situation?
It's
saying any foul outside of the 3-point line.
Any foul outside of the 3-point line in the final 24 seconds by a team up 3+ is 3 free throws. It's very simple.
So basically, you're saying, hey, let the offense do whatever the hell it wants to get a shot off.
No, he's saying don't foul him.
You're going to have a guy, start his dribble.
This is what I'm going to tell you guys. You're going to do this rule, and you know what's going to happen? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to get fouled 50 feet away from the basket, and everyone's going, oh, my God, this foul immersion, that's not offense, that's not basketball, that's not fun. You guys don't see the unintended consequences in all this stuff.
By the way, I've thought of I think unintended consequences are a very important thing, and I've thought about them quite a bit, which is why I properly manicured it exactly the way I did. About inside the final 24 seconds, have to be in the bonus, and have to be leading by at least 3. But if you're saying the unintended consequences is there's going to be more public shame for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander flopping about like a fish on a boat, that's a positive.
Ain't no shame in winning, brother.
That's a positive.
Ain't no shame in that MVP trophy.
This is why Nick Wright is the media giant that he is, because whatever your arguments, he's already considered them and dismissed them. He is a dragon.
Poorly.
They're manicured.
Dismissed them
dragon slayer because, yes, he's manicured his argument to make sure that whatever your fertilizer is, he's already thought of it.
I would make it 4 free throws, Nick. Okay, that way you ensure that no one will ever foul. How is that?
Okay, no, I'm not. All right, I'm not. Nick, do not.
I supported you.
I know, Stugotz.
Don't take the bait.
You know what, Stugotz? I'll take it under consideration.
Thank you.
The other things that I wanted to talk to you about here before you get out of here is the nature of your beef with Pablo Torre. I don't know what is happening with Pablo. He's getting a lot of award nominations, but people don't seem to be very happy for him.
He didn't win, by the way. They were announced.
Oh, were they announced?
Yeah.
He didn't win the big one?
The Peabodys were announced?
We won the big one.
We won the big one today.
He lost the big one and the Peabody in the same day.
He lost the Peabody today?
Yeah.
Now, hold on. Do we think he lost the Peabody because of Billy's theory about the smut peddling?
The Bill Belichick reporting that he's doing for clicks, cheap and dirty.
I'm so glad you said that. Listen, I find it very fascinating and honestly, really, I don't know, maybe in a way that says a bad thing about me, delightful, that Pablo is this, I don't know if you guys have heard, he went to Harvard. He's this erudite guy. He shows up on MSNBC. He has done some really valuable and important reporting on that podcast. I don't say that sarcastically. I mean it. I think the stuff he did about trans athletes was like groundbreaking and really good.
Haunted hotels.
And the only thing anybody cares about is the Belichick's girlfriend story.
It's so great.
And yesterday,
yesterday
he said he was like, "I'm willing to take them to court if they don't fulfill
Dork
their
thing to say, by the way.
Freedom of Information Act requirements."
yes.
And I'm like, you know what, Pablo? In this moment in America, at this very time, I can think of no better use of a state court's time than, hey, man, who got copied on whose email? It's just the greatest. And I love that this is where everyone is paying attention, because it is objectively a good podcast. But you brought up a beef. I did not think we had a beef. But then he sent a tweet that made it seem like we have a beef. So somebody asked if me and Wilds would come on again. He said, I've invited Get Nick Wright back on to Pablo Finds Out. So my only available conclusion is that he's been ducking us. Would like to find out why. The offer stands. And now, okay. So now we have to do some awkward things. Listen, nobody wants to do this, but you're going to publicly tweet that, Pablo. Now, Pablo might say, Nick, I privately reached out, which may be true, but I'm going to try to show this to the camera because I'm one of these guys. Mm-hmm. That right there says 457 unopened texts, 390 missed calls, and 12,000 emails.
Power move.
I'm not great at the reading my text, replying. I'm not good at that. And I actually think for those folks out there, the strategy behind that, then I'll get back to Pablo, is this. If you always instantly reply to texts, then when you are trying to duck or avoid someone or a tough conversation or something and you don't reply, they know something's up. If you're just generally rude to everyone, then if you're trying to avoid something, it's like, oh, I didn't see that. And they're like, well, it might be true. Like, he also didn't reply when I said, hey, want to go to dinner. So, there is that. Here's the other thing.
Great cover story.
I say this, I try to, listen, there are 3 shows that I am a regular recurring guest on. They are 3 shows hosted by 3 of my professional idols. The Dan Le Batard Show.
Thank you.
Winner of the
Colin Cowherd Show, and the Dan Patrick Show. Those 3 shows, if they call, I am always available. There are then shows hosted by people I'm friendly with that if they call, I'm like, hey, I will try to make time, as I did for the Chris and Greg Cody show.
I was just about to say that. Thank you for that.
He was like, hey, you want to come on? It's like, no problem.
Chris, how long did it take to get back in touch with her?
I'd be on.
Quick, actually, if I remember.
How
about that?
I didn't have the number saved. I didn't know who I was talking
to.
And
so that's the next tier if you have the time tier, right?
But there's an important part of that. Those very often are grand opening, grand closing events. If Chris 2 weeks later had texted me again, was like, hey, buddy, everybody loved it. Let's run it back. And by the way, Chris's, all I had to do was open up my laptop. Pablo's, I got to pay for a car, get to a studio, pay for a car back. Like, buddy, this is costing me money, and it's a lot of time. And I'll be honest, I thought it was fine. I didn't think we were going to win any Peabodys ourselves with that, hey, Nick, here's your bad takes of the last year, defend them pod. So I don't think it's a beef. I didn't know that I was, all of a sudden a recurring guest like you see certain people on TV shows. That's all it was.
Why wouldn't you want to work for free for Pablo's benefit?
It's not even for free. It's at a cost.
Right.
That car service.
Right.
Free would have been great.
Right.
Yeah,
I got to be honest. Free, maybe I could have done. But I'm like, this cost me $140.
It's not, it's not illegal labor, but he's asking you to come and do 2 hours of his program so he can benefit.
Well, and again, this is probably not the proper forum to address this. Probably I should have because I think the last time I was on here, while I was on here, Pablo texted me. Again, part of that text thing is also a weird anxiety, which is I saw it and I was like, bah. And then I was like, I'll read that later. And I've never read it. And I've never opened that text again. So I'm sure then his public, I feel touched because in the same day, he was basically like, hey, there's two people I need to get a hold of. I'm going to go public. Nick Wright and Sir Mix-a-Lot. And Sir Mix-a-Lot responded. So, I mean, bully for him.
Chris Cody has never identified with anyone more. Everything Nick Wright has said about texting, Chris Cody is just like, this is exactly how I do it.
How you play the game.
This is you're soulmates when it comes to texting. I
do it all the time. I see this text. Oh man, I don't know exactly. I'm gonna get back to this one in like an hour.
He plays that one with me. No, it's just that's the game he plays with me.
You're his boss.
You can imagine my frustration when he plays that one with me. Yes.
Yeah. No, I have listen. You and I, Dan. One of the very first times I ever came on. I don't know. It was this show. But you were really just doing, what I call the Le Batard fastball, which is let's just try to really peel back the layers of this guy's soul and see what makes him. And you got into my family, but whether or not I was going to burn my entire life to the ground, gambling, all of it. And I was I thought we were talking about LeBron. And so this is, kind of a first cousin of that. I have really weird. Like, it's a similar feeling that I think people get watching that Nathan Fielder show.
Oh, it's
That's
so
like
good.
Secondhand embarrassment. But a cousin of that is like, ooh, I don't know that I want to just see this text and I'll just not open it. And so that happens to me sometimes. And so am I making excuses for just being a generally rude person? Maybe, but it is true.
And you've also buried Pablo yet again publicly. Your rivalry, you seem to be undefeated so far as it comes to this. Do you have any other media beefs going on right now at present? You didn't want any part of the Stephen A. problems.
No, it's no
last
media.
week.
You know what? Let me be gracious. Because for the 8th straight year, First Things First was not nominated for Best Studio Show Weekly at the Sports Emmys. And that's fine. We need to do better. I get it. When I saw the list of nominations, PTI was on there, and I'm like, okay, that should probably just win every year. Or the Best Daily. I said Weekly. Best Daily Studio Show, sorry. And that made me happy. And then there were a few other ones on there. I don't remember all of them. But one of them was NFL Live, hosted by one of my media rivals, Mina Kimes. And when I saw they won, I was very happy because I think that they do a really good job, and I think Mina's excellent. Obviously, I don't think she's as good as me at anything, but I do think she is excellent, and I was happy she won.
A chicken wing.
Very
it's
nice.
just a chicken
It's on the way out, right?
It's
Chirp there, little chirp.
Take one of these to the boards.
That's not true. I have to amend that. Don't put that on social. She's better than me at being like, this is why the cover 3 works in this spot. Again, stuff that yeah, sure. I'm happy.
Let's give him the big one.
Yes,
Dan.
information, nutrients. Nick's like, yeah, but show me the entertainment. Like,
What are we doing? Like, are we on TV or are we in a dirty film room with tobacco in our mouth and being like, this is how we're gonna shut down Jaden Daniels this week? I don't know.
Kind of sounds exciting, though.
regardless, so did you finish your point, though? That's it? Like, that's the end of the
No,
point?
that's it. No, that was it. Congrats to NFL Live and specific all of them, but specifically my frenemy Mina Kimes.
All right, so 2 minutes or less before we let you go. It's harder and harder for me to keep up with all of the sports and information that I need to. So my WNBA coverage tends to be pretty glancing and
nothing like got 90 seconds. Let's dive into this WNBA topic. Thanks for that. Well, go ahead.
It's down to 60.
No, you know what? I'm gonna pull the parachute on it.
No.
Oh, come on. Don't
this
do that.
is why we don't get the coverage we need.
You got to cradle your neck back, by the way.
So 0 seconds
All right,
for the
go,
W.
Nick. Go,
Need
Nick.
a big
Well,
parachute.
listen, I think that there needs to be we need to have an ability to be like, hey, I would like to talk about the basketball portions of the WNBA and rivalries and teams and all of that, and then also be like, hey, and we can also talk about all of the other things, but we don't have to try to always do them simultaneously. And the basketball portion of the WNBA story early this year was, to me, a very simple one, which is there is nothing better for the league than if Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese have a decade-long rivalry. And in order for that to happen, Angel Reese needs to do more Mikan drills. Because for the time being, she is right now a wildly famous rebounder, defender, and the person that everyone wants her to have a rivalry with is, while injured, one of the 5 or 6 best players in the league. That's not going to gel. And so, or Caitlin needs to, graduate past that and have a rivalry with Collier or Asia Wilson or Paige or Juju when she gets up there. But in the meantime, it's got to be peers as far as quality of players, and right now that's not the case. That's the basketball point.
That's just the basketball.
Did you ask
portion.
a question?
I didn't really answer. I didn't ask a question, but
answer.
I didn't do much of anything there other than get out of the way. Nick, thank you for being on with us. Good seeing you, and thank you for the kind
and Cody,
words.
I'll come back on the pod in about 2.5 years.
Gotcha.
See ya.
Folks out there in the audience, temperature's starting to turn up a little bit. That means a lot of you and your families and your friends are going outside, having a perfect grill day, maybe out by the pool. Now, imagine yourself, grill side. Your veggies, your meats, they're all prepped, ready to go. Kids running around in the background, lawn, perfectly manicured to perfection. It all sounds pretty great. This sounds like a good time. Now you make that good time a Miller time, because it is all made better with a white can in your hand of that beautiful Miller Lite. Celebrating its 50th anniversary, Miller Lite. Almost 20 years have they been partnered with our show, making your good times Miller times every time out. There's just something about a perfect grilling day. Sun's out, friends show up, that first sip of Miller Lite, it just hits different. I've been stocking the cooler with Miller Lite for years on these grilling days, and for good reason. It's brewed for taste, and it's only 96 calories and 3.2 grams of carbs. This year, Miller Lite turns 50. That's 5 decades of cookouts, laughs, and ice-cold moments that never miss. It's the original light beer, and it's still my go-to. Great beer, great times. Grill on. Miller Lite. Great taste. 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Cheers to 50 years of Miller Lite. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
Juju's been doing post-game shows after every playoff game. Catch Alley Oop wherever you get podcasts or on YouTube. Definitely check it out. And he's got a host of special guests that come by. You won't hate what you see. You're going to be all types of surprises. Some days it's Trista Crick. Some days it's me. Some days it's some other people from
Zach
all
Harper,
corners. Zach Harper's been on there.
The carcass of Zach Harper walks
Zach
in.
Harper having a moment.
Is he having a moment?
Is he weird? Why?
Isn't he?
How?
Well, he was here for that show. We did that.
Oh,
That's why.
that's a moment.
Yeah, he's having a moment. There you go.
Yeah.
But Juju, before we get to the polls, I want to ask you. You wanted to talk about having a challenges coach. I think I know what you're talking about, but please explain to us what you're talking about.
I just said I had an amendment to the coaches challenge segment that you and Nick Wright had earlier. I think that players and teams should be fined $100,000 each failed challenge, because you're wasting time. We could have played a commercial. We got to pay these bills around here, and instead we watching the referee go over, and you wasting our time.
Yeah.
So $100,000 fine to each coach, player, team who uses a challenge and is unsuccessful. I think that'll clean it up.
I think, first of all, the problem is when you get these guys who's making $50 million a year, $100,000, it's worth it for me to just do this all the time. The thing I hate is...
Are you saying make it higher?
Yeah, make it a percentage.
$1 million?
A percentage of your salary.
There it is.
Then we clear this up. Which, by the way, it's crazy. I can't remember which player it was in the WNBA, but she got fined something like $10,000. I'm like, you can't find her $10,000 when her salary is $50,000. That makes no sense. Like, you can't find people the same amounts across different sports
when they're making
leagues.
different money.
When they're making different money, it's ridiculous. Well, let's change it to percentages. I feel like that's
that.
Every fine should be a percentage. That way, we all feel it the same. Yes.
Right. Also, coaches who use their challenge before the fourth quarter, you don't understand life, you don't understand justice, and you don't understand liberty for all. Terrible challenge for Rick Carlisle yesterday, but he survived it.
Right.
Yeah. I don't like when the players call for the challenge on something that's so insignificant. First quarter, ball went out of bounds. I didn't touch it. Oh, challenge it. Like, who cares?
It's wild that they always think it's their ball, though.
But
I just want one time a guy to be like,
no,
it's clearly the other way.
That happened. That happened where Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I think it was against the Nuggets, he touched it, and then Dagnall looks at his bench and starts going into the challenge, and he's like, no. He actually runs over and tries to bear hug him. So Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has done that. But for the most part, like I said, it doesn't even matter whether it is truly their ball or not. It's that, who cares? Out of bounds play in the first quarter. Who cares?
The ball went off me, coach.
Yeah, there you go. You want someone to challenge that, right?
Also, Tom Thibodeau is coaching himself out of the Hall of Fame and directly onto the hot seat.
Oh, boy.
I'm sorry. When you got Landry Shamet getting Miles McBride's minutes, and you putting out DeLon Wright in them big minutes, and they're not producing as much as the plus minus of Miles McBride, how he has the effect on the game. I question it. Like, you tinkering with the lineups way too late in the season for him to be unsuccessful. 2 games ago, he sat Karl Anthony Towns on the bench for a majority of the fourth quarter. I don't understand. So Tibbs, you better straighten up.
I don't think he's on the hot seat, but I never viewed Thibodeau as a Hall of Famer. Now I know everyone gets into the Basketball Hall of Fame, but he can't be coaching himself out of the Hall of Fame. He's not in the Hall of Fame, right?
The personification of the DeLon Wright minutes where there's an inbounds pass. DeLon Wright steals it, tries to go up and under around, misses the layup. Then Halliburton comes back on that missed layup and then hits the 3, and they're down 9. And he's like, damn.
DeLon Wright, he's lifer, by the way.
He is.
Also, Chris Finch, the Minnesota Timberwolves coach, he is coaching himself into the Saskatchewan Rough Rider team.
Switching sports. Wow.
Right. I think they're going to demote that brother.
He is a sport.
I've never seen a coach make so many mistakes as him. Like you said earlier, you know you got 0.3 seconds, and you know you got the team is about to foul you. That's their MO. And you drawing up plays with them swooping, Naz Reid swooping away from the goal. It's like, come on, bro. Like, what is these NBA coaches getting paid for, if not to draw up a scheme to effectively win the game? And I've yet to see him do so.
Juju, I want to help your take here. Next time you bring that up, you got to say he's going to coach his way back to the Sheffield Sharks, which is an actual team he coached in the British Basketball League. The Sheffield Sharks.
Salute to the Sheffield Sharks.
Juju, we had Keith Yandel on. He has an irrational hate for Vijay Singh. I am told that you have top 5 athletes that you hate. So I am excited for this. Okay.
I absolutely do. And we also got, it's a Wild Billy Wednesday, so he did lay down the gauntlet for my brother Billy, the gauntlet, for celebrity boxing
Charity
match.
boxing?
Did you?
Right.
No. Did you accept that challenge, Billy, or is it like under the bridge?
No, I have a neck thing. Yeah, I got it.
Oh,
a few weeks back.
You should put the brace back on.
Pinch nerve going on there.
No, I wouldn't get cleared to do that.
Hate when that happens. Right?
Yeah, timing just isn't great for celebrity boxing.
Next year, maybe. Next year.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Maybe.
Right now, I'm in a program. We'll see how long it lasts. I don't know when I'll get cleared.
It's like when you go to the doctor and they're like, what are you doing next March? And you're like,
I don't know.
Yeah, long-term IR.
When they want to book that next one.
11:30. Put me there for sure.
Can I share with you guys real quick just a doctor thing that I got? So I got a text, the 1 year from now, we'll see you again, right?
Right.
And it was my dermatologist.
Right.
And it's supposed to be June 10th. And I wasn't going to be able to make
Coming
that.
up fast.
And they told me, hey, your doctor is on maternity. Would you like to reschedule or see another doctor? And I was like, well, how long is the doctor going to be on maternity for? And then I'll decide if I want to see or not. Like, I see the doctor once a year. Like, I don't have like this personal bond or friendship or whatever with the doctor. Like, it's the dermatologist, whatever. So I'm like, when does the doctor come back? They're like, she comes back June 9th. And I'm like, well, hold on a second. Run this by me again? They're like, yeah, but just Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I'm like, so I guess my appointment's on a Tuesday. I'm like, just make my appointment on a Wednesday. I don't understand this complication here. Why are we overcomplicating things?
Wait, is it June 9th, 2026?
You know, I didn't ask for clarification.
Oh,
I'll do
man.
that. But my understanding was doctor's back the day before, but we got to reschedule yours. That's all.
Juju, you got a top 5.
I don't want to see a different doctor. I want to see the same doctor. I don't like that option.
If it's you see him once a year, who cares?
That's kind of what I'm thinking too, right?
Just get it
I'll
done.
just reschedule for, I don't know. Juju, your thoughts?
OLI, Juan Guzman.
What? Why?
I don't like. I never liked him. There was something about him. Take your pitcher ball and just pitch somewhere else.
You don't need reasons for this list.
Yeah.
Just you just don't like him, Juju. That's it.
Right.
Okay.
Also, second OLI, Craig Elo.
Oh,
P.U.
poor Craig Elo, man. That was pretty good defense he played. It's just Jordan was a little bit better. You know?
A lot.
Right. Number 5, Chuck Knobloch.
Oh, come on, Yankee legend.
Arguing calls there at first base.
Get him out of my life.
Couldn't throw from here to there. Without like shit was going everywhere.
From here to there.
From here to there, man. That shit.
Number 4, the Seattle Supersonics, Hersey Hawkins.
Oh,
I liked him.
it was the mustache,
Never liked
Juju.
him.
It was the little mustache, and that was it. He didn't have any other facial
Hersey
hair.
Hawkins.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dastardly mustache.
Yes, he did. It was a dastardly
well
mustache.
said. Yes.
Number 3, Sasha Vujacic.
Oh,
Come on, with the little
Great
headband and the
Okay.
hair.
Right,
Come on.
look at that.
and by the way,
Great one.
by the way, let me
Great one.
behind
Great
the scenes,
Juju.
he is a jerk. He deserves to get hated. Yeah.
Number 2, Jeff Hornacek.
Oh, man.
Horny.
Horny's a nice guy, but Jerry Stackhouse got on top of him and just beat the shit out of him, and that's
Oh, damn.
you never remember that? Jerry Stackhouse.
Uh-uh.
I've never seen someone like a more lopsided fight between someone who clearly didn't want to fight and someone who was like, I've had enough.
Who's
of your
always
shit."
looking for a
Yeah,
fight.
Oh
Yes.
boy, he beat the shit out of him.
And number 1, Patrick Mahomes.
What?
Wow.
Let's
Bills
go
fan.
Buffalo.
Juju, I'm trying to do my Holmes voice, and I not quite.
Come on, man.
It's a little Kermit the Frog.
try.
Kermit the Frog.
Come on,
if
Juju.
if I've been smoking a couple of cigarettes.
We'd be
even-
friends, Juju. Huh.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be friends. I love the Bills too much. Josh Allen is my friend. Salute to Haley Stanfield. Also salute to Paige Beckers for becoming the first player in WNBA history with 60 points and 30 assists through her first 5 games.
Congrats.
Magnificent.
Juju,
Got the W
Thought he was talking
yesterday
about one
in
game first. I was like, that's a game.
Juju, I want to ask you something about Paige Beckers. I was watching Wings versus Dream, a game that I believe you were at. And
Yeah.
I was surprised because she came out and she was playing really well early. And then down the stretch, they kind of sat her for a while. Is this some like, oh, you're a rookie, you got to earn your stripes thing? Or what was happening there?
Nah, bro. Every single game for the Wings so far, I've had my questions about their coach. They got a new coach. They subbed my sister out last year, but it's like, bro, like he makes these lineup adjustments. He doesn't play Nalissa Smith as much as I think he should. He doesn't play Big T, Tierra McGowan as much as he should. Enrique be struggling. I think if you're gonna sit someone, maybe you should sit Enrique, let her get her wheels under her. Because Paige, she never has a flaw. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying she never has a flaw, but she
But
never
she-
has lulls in the game.
She's playing. I'm watching her play, and I'm like, why isn't she in the game right now? Because whenever she's out there, she's making things happen.
Right, every single time. But yeah. And salute to Pablo Torre threatening to sue UNC for besmirching his facts. I didn't know you can do that. As a black man, I done been accused and besmirched a lot. So I might need to text Pablo, see how I can get that suing thing going. Neither here nor
They're
there.
smirching out here.
All right, Juju, at LeBatard Show on Twitter if you'd like to vote on the polls. What do you have in terms of polls today?
What sounds more exciting to win? A Peabody or a potty? 74% of the audience says a Peabody.
Oh, come on, guys. The potties.
Who is clutchier, Jalen Brunson or Tyrese Halliburton?
Oh, man.
72% of the audience says Halliburton.
Yeah.
No, I was thinking about this.
So
I
what,
think
what have you done for me lately, Kyle?
I think no. I think Jalen Brunson. If you define a clutch game, which is 5 minutes under 5 points, I think Jalen Brunson is clutch for that amount of time better than Halliburton is. Halliburton's just a better shooter in
At the
clutch
end of
time.
the-
He's also up 3-1.
Well, body of work.
Like
my friend.
that,
I'm with you, Tony.
Stugotz, you're right. Like if it were 3-1 Knicks, but all the stats are the same about Halliburton being 11 to 12 or whatever.
Yes.
I think we'd be talking about Brunson is more clutch.
He'd still be the clutchiest. Yes. Yeah. No doubt. Yes.
Do all statues have great butts?
Yes.
64% of the audience says yes, they do.
Mm-hmm.
Where the 36%? What statues are they looking at?
The ones with the acetal. Can the best athlete in the world be a hockey player? 62% of the audience says no, he cannot.
Are you serious, dude?
Dan wanted me to jump in with basketball players. I said, Dan, just let the man cook, man.
Good take.
Let him, yeah.
Right.
I'm just saying, they're doing all this on skates.
Right.
Yeah, but have you seen Derrick Henry?
Yeah, do it on your feet.
Exactly right.
That's the thing. That's the thing, Roy. If you ask them to do it on their feet, they're not going to be as good as if we even the playing field of.
That's not the sport.
No special.
not
but we're
the-
talking
on
about the
ice.
best athlete.
Talk about how fast they are.
Maybe
They're
the
on
best
ice.
athlete.
Yeah.
I mean, who's not fast?
Just
on
gliding.
ice,
Yeah.
right?
You're barely doing anything.
Apollo Anton on a track. You know what I mean? Exactly. Guy's slow as hell.
Exactly right.
Pretty much. We'll call him.
Last poll.
Unbelievable.
VJ Singh, good or okay? It's a tight one. 51% of the audience says he's good.
Oh.
Yeah.
I upgraded him. Good. I did upgrade him.
And that was the difference right there. That was the margin.
That was the margin.
Yep.
Thank you, Juju.
Thanks, Juju.
Thank y'all.
Alley-oop Thursday after Knicks Pacers.
Hey, thank you, brother.